Hey guys, Sam here and welcome back to another episode of our Leeds United Career Mode series, guys. And going into today's episode, I gotta be honest, I was a little bit rusty in the first two games because I was coming off the back of playing a bit of squad battles on Ultimate Team, and Ultimate Team is not something I usually go into. It's not a game mode that I've personally been playing over the past, well, ever. I've never really been a foot player. There was maybe 1 year where I played a little bit here and there, probably raked in maybe 100 games or something like that across a FIFA, but since, I think that was FIFA 15, since then I haven't really played foot at all. And this year with squad battles, I wasn't really sure what it was. I saw Beat Modus playing it on a stream, and I thought, let me get involved in this, and it is super fun, so I have been playing a little bit of that. So, coming off of a little bit of a session on squad battles, I went into this game against Manchester City. And I was so focused on skipping everything that I didn't show the lineup at the start, which is why you saw me fixing it up before the game, because I still wanted you guys to see the lineup that was going into the game. But I was so used to skipping things because in squad battles, I just skip everything. And when I play on my own, I skip everything. When I'm playing the Leeds United Career Mode, I can't skip everything because I have to show the stats at the end of the game, for instance, or I have to show the squad at the start. So, yeah, I do apologize for that. The first two games here, it'll be a little bit dicey with what I do and don't show. So, yeah, I hope that you guys can still enjoy it. Like, for instance, I didn't show the player ratings. I just advanced from this screen here because I was so used to just going to the next thing and going to the next thing. And again, going into this game against Aston Villa, again, I didn't show the lineup, so I thought I would show you guys here. This time I actually realized, so in-game I went and went to the squad and showed you guys the squad. Now, this game against Aston Villa is quite interesting because we didn't play Aston Villa at all last season. The last time we played Aston Villa was in the Championship in Season 1, so good to see them again, good to play them again, and they've made it to the Premier League, so well done to them. They are struggling in the Premier League, has to be said. They are, I believe, last on the table, so they are definitely struggling, but they do pull out a really good result here against us. 7 shots, 1 on target for them, 5 shots are on target for us, so it was a pretty even game at the end of the day, and it's a 0-0 draw, and I think the reason I was struggling in these first two games was because I was so used to the AI on squad battles. You could tell that I just was not playing to the same level that I have done on this career mode. But 2 games under my belt, going into the Champions League against Marseille, the last game of the Champions League group. If you don't know what's going on, we're 3 points ahead of Marseille in second position. They are in third. If they beat us 1-0, we will be tied on points, but I think they'll still go through on the results, because I think we'll be tied on goal difference as well anyway, but I think they have the better results against us, which is really, really bad. They would have a draw from the first fixture and now a win here, if they were to win, and then they would qualify in second. So we need a draw, or even a win would be nice as well, and then we have qualified to the round of 16. We get some really bad news with Danny Ings going down injured, unable to come back, and that's followed up by conceding a goal in the 34th minute, and it was just a really sloppy goal to concede. If you just notice, I think that's Ryan Sessegnon not getting in front of his man, not attacking the ball, and unfortunately it was way too easy. I mean, it's still a very good finish, it's not an easy finish by any stretch of the imagination, but we just allowed them too much room, and we are 1-0 down. Trying to get back into this game, it's Andros Townsend, the Champions League man. I mean, he has owned the Champions League, guys. With this goal here, he only failed to score in 1 group stage game, and that was Real Madrid at home. That's the only game he has not scored in, and I think it's 6 goals in the 6 games, I think, because he scored 2 against Madrid. I'm just trying to think if he scored 2 against anybody else, but it's 6 goals in 6 group games, definitely. Potentially 7, I don't know. But we do get up 2-1. A couple of minutes later, a little bit of a 1-2 punch from us in the 52nd and now in the 58th minute. 2 goals back to back. And this one was really, really lucky. Kibiki is taking the credit for the goal, but it was off of Saïs's shot, and the keeper had absolutely no chance of saving that. Way too powerful, and the deflection was way too difficult to get to, I would say, and unfortunately for Marseille, they find themselves down 2-1, and we're in a really good position now. Half an hour to go. We can allow 1 goal, but we really don't want to do that, but we can allow another goal and still qualify, and Dimitri Payet was one of the players trying to get Marseille back into the game. He was really, really good in this game. Very, very impressive. And Dimitri Payet's a little bit he's been forgotten, I think, in real life a little bit. Like, I don't really know what he's up to in real life. I don't know if he's been good at Marseille or not. He was definitely good in this game. And in the last couple of minutes here, Marseille putting the pressure on, and they do get themselves a goal in the 84th minute to make it 2-2. and really put the pressure on us in the last 10 or so minutes if you add the added time onto the 90. So really, really tense moments here, guys. If we can see one more, that's it. We don't qualify for the round of 16. We go down to the Europa League. If we can hold on to a draw, that is it. We have made it to the round of 16, which is absolutely crazy. We do hold on. As you can tell, we were the dominant team. Oh, it was pretty even, but we had more possession. And we do pick up the draw, which means we have qualified for the round of 16 in the second position, which means we will face somebody who topped their group, which is never the best. But we're Leeds United, so we kind of have to take that, and we just sort of have to accept it. So going into the next game, it was against Crystal Palace, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the first time we're playing Crystal Palace in the entire series, because in Season 1, they were in the Premier League and we were in the Championship, and then in Season 2, we were in the Premier League and they were in the Championship. So now they've gotten promoted from that relegation, and now we finally face them in the Premier League. Our first game against Crystal Palace, and it's Emre Çolak putting us up 1-0 to kick off today's match. A great finish, and we are now getting into the stride of our play. Connor Chaplin now starting as the striker. I should mention Danny Ings, that injury has now cost him 3 months of the season. Danny Ings is just somebody who gets injured. I mean, this is now the second time in 2 seasons he's been injured, and it was a pretty similar injury as well, both times. So, unfortunate, but now we've got Connor Chaplin, who will be playing more of a central role. Over the past, I would say, 12 to 16, 18 months, he's been playing as a right midfielder. Really, he's been coming off the bench and playing as a right midfielder. He's even started as an out-and-out right midfielder. And he'll be now playing a little bit more central. We have a lot of options on the wing, and Alioski is one of those who sort of fall into the reserves. So I wasn't too worried about putting Chaplin at the striker position. We're not really missing out on him on the right-hand side. He's effective wherever you put him, really. That's how I would talk about Connor Chaplin. He is effective wherever you put him. I think you could play him at cam as well, and he would be perfect. He would still do the job, and you would still get the best out of him. And it's good to have a player like that, so versatile, and can do the job in so many different positions. But we are 2-0 up here against Crystal Palace, and what was quite an easy game. Palace really offered absolutely nothing, and here in the last minutes, not sure how Alioski gets that to stick. I'm not quite sure how he gets the ball. I think the defender's talking to the goalkeeper's talking to the defender, but neither are listening to each other. Really, the keeper should be coming out and claiming that. Not sure what he's doing, and I think the defender is right there and just allowing that to roll to the keeper. Keeper didn't want it. Speroni wanted nothing to do with it, and Alioski slides in and gets the third goal to give us a convincing win here against Crystal Palace. Like I said, they didn't offer us anything. 2 shots, I should say. No goals for them. None on target, though. Not offering us anything at all. Alioski was the man of the match with 3 players getting 9.5 match ratings. That was Chaplin and Çolak were the other 2, but Alioski, as you could see, had that little golden ball next to him, which means he gets the man of the match and the 3 points for the Billy Bremner Award. As we head into the next game, it gets a little bit tougher now away at Everton. Goodison Park, always a very difficult place to go, and Everton, always a good team in career mode. They make some really, really nice signings, and one that's usually always happens is Marcus Rashford, but all around their team is really, really nice, and they go up 1-0 really early on in the game, 14th minute, or about 15th minute, and it's Sigurdsson who puts them up 1-0. And I was talking last episode about how many times we go on the back foot, and again, it started creeping into our gameplay a little bit. I mean, I thought we've been okay across the 4 games so far in today's episode, you know, especially considering that we had a pretty slow start. But playing a team like Everton, it's always difficult. They're around us in the table. They're around mid-table along with us, and this makes it no better. An injury to Pavel Kubicki. Again, a player going down. This happened last season. 1 player got injured around just before the new year, and everybody started getting injured. I mean, it was ACLs last season. This season, it's like broken ankles. So, yeah, Kubicki, I can confirm that injury is a 2-month injury. So, Ings is out, Kubicki is out, and Lucas Perez is out. That's 3 strikers, all gone, leaving Connor Chaplin to be our only real striker. We have Mackay, who's like a 63 rated striker as well, but Chaplin is our only first team striker. Let's put it that way. I mean, Perez went out with Spain, Ings went out today's episode, and I thought, that's okay, we still have Chaplin and Kubicki. And then Kubicki goes down as well. Absolutely shattering news. And the worst part is, Gaia makes it 2-1 in the 73rd minute. And it was such a strange goal to concede. Kelly just sort of getting bullied by Gaia. At first I thought Gaia had used Kelly to score the goal. Like, it would come off Kelly, but you could see just over Kelly's shoulder was Gaia's head. and Everton win 2-1, and it wasn't really the loss that was stinging me too much. It was just the Kibiki getting injured. It was so unnecessary. I thought, really, do we really have to lose all our strikers and rely on Connor Chaplin to play game in, game out? It was really terrible, guys. And there's nothing wrong with Connor Chaplin, but he can't just play every single game, especially considering that we're coming up to a period of the season where there is a lot of fixtures. I mean, today's month has 7 games, and most of them were closer now, coming up later in the year. So it was really, really strange to only have one striker. And overall, I wasn't happy, man. 2 striker injuries in the same episode, and both multiple months. Really not happy about that. And we go into this game against Chelsea, hosting Chelsea at Elland Road, and it was always going to be difficult, but they definitely start off fantastically. I thought one of the better performances from the AI. I thought Manchester United, that game against Manchester United was one of the most convincing performances from the AI, but I thought Chelsea were doing well as well. Great bit of movement, great bit of passing from the players in that little sequence there. Unfortunately, Chaplin unable to finish. See, that's what I'm saying. Someone like a Danny Ings or Perez would have found an opportunity to score that. Fortunately, though, Chaplin gets another opportunity and does not miss that one. Just puts it across goal. Makes sure that he gets the goal this time. And I guess that sort of makes up for it. He probably should have scored the other one, but it was good to see him scoring this one. That was a really good goal, though, because he had to hold off a defender. And for someone like Connor Chaplin to hold off Umtiti like that, that's not easy. I don't think that's easy at all. And I would like to actually congratulate Connor Chaplin on that goal. Maybe showing that he is a viable option at the striker position in the long term. Of course, we don't have a striker for the next month or so, and that is what Connor Chaplin does the best. This is the Connor Chaplin that I know. He attacks defenses. This was what he was doing when we first signed him. He just attacks defenses, gets the ball back, and then the 88th minute, he puts us up 2-1. Bloody hell, I'm not even sure who this guy is. He's just stepping up to the plate, really. I mean, I've been saying that it's not the best position to be in to only have Connor Chaplin as our striker. But he's doing a very, very, very good job, and actually surprised me a lot in this game, especially against Chelsea. I was expecting him to get a little bit dominated. Honestly, I was expecting Chaplin to get bullied, especially with their back 3. I just didn't think he could handle the back 3, and he proved me so wrong, and I love that he did. I love that he proved me wrong. Going into this game against Stoke City, though, away, just a couple of days later, I do decide to go with McKay. I'm going to go with Mackay. Mackay sounds a little bit more right, and this was going to be a really big adjustment for me. Of course, J. Roy Grott is on loan, so we don't have him. I could have recalled him, but I didn't really want to be honest with you guys. But a good bit of interchange play, and it's Chalak now stepping up. A player who's been consistently pretty good this season. I wouldn't say he's been fantastic. He hasn't really lit anything up. It was a boring game against Stoke, though, to be honest. That was the only chance worth showing you guys, and good thing we took it, because it was a game of very few chances, and if we didn't take it, we could have put ourselves in a pretty sticky situation. But after a decent month, guys, we're in 10th. We're making strides now. And where we were a couple of episodes ago, even just at the start of today's episode, we were in really tough position. We were like closer to the relegation zone than we were to mid-table. So very good to see us now in 10th position. Of course, the gap between 10th and 16th, which is where Stoke is only 3 points. So it's not something to cheer about just yet, because the table is so close in the mid-table. Manchester United are absolutely smashing the league. 17 wins, 1 draw in 18 games. They find themselves with a 19-point lead on Chelsea. Absolutely bananas. Burnley in 3rd, Leicester in 4th, Spurs in 5th, and Liverpool in 6th. City have made a really nice recovery. They're sitting in 8th at the moment, only a point ahead of us, but they've recovered really well. Unlike Arsenal, who, despite picking up their first win, are still in the relegation zone, and they're 5 points away from being safe. So, really dire situation at Arsenal. Of course, a lot of talk about me potentially joining Arsenal at the end of the season. I can tell you one thing. I'm not joining them if they're in the championship. I can tell you that much. So yeah, really Arsenal just struggling. Nearly halfway through the season, only a win to their name is ridiculous. But taking a look at the Billy Bremner Award, guys, this is the last time I will be showing this, because moving into January now, of course, this was in the month of December. Moving into January, the votes are now hidden. But going into the last time you guys can look at it, Saïs is sitting at the top of the table. 17 points for him. Danny Ings right behind him, 16, and Vieira with 12. Of course, Danny Ings is injured, which would allow a lot of people to catch up, and maybe Saiz pull away a little bit. But that is the last time you guys will see the Billy Bremner Award table, guys. And that is the end of today's episode. If you did enjoy it, please do leave a like on the video. I really hope you guys did enjoy it. I hope you had a good day. I'll see you guys in the next one very soon. Keep it real.